We are going to create the form, and while creating the forms, we'll see how we can go and we can submit the forms. So in the contact form, if you see, we are going to have the name, email address, and the message, and that will go and will send. So all these things will go and will save in our database. So let's first create the UI, then we'll go and we'll do the setups in our backend API. So I will show over here the code, copy, and already we have created the contact component. So if you see in our component, we have the contact, and then we have over here, save this. And now if I'll go and run the, so we're able to see this UI with some error we are getting. Let me check in the console. We are not able to create. Let me check why this is happening. So div, and over here it's displaying on the forum. So this text is not applying. So this CSS is not getting applied. Let me check. So we have this tailwind, and over here we have the send. And already we have used this one too. Let me go and check in the head. Okay, in the header we have used this tailwind, and now we have used in the our component. And in the component we are getting this error over here. So let's save and check. So that button is getting not applied. So this is a type submit, and then the light color, and then we have the BG prime. BG primary we are using, and send we have. Let me go and run it again. CMS imaging is hyphen O. And do they have the tagging volume? Check, we have the check, the audience, sounds, input. So we have the form template and we are using the same code, copy, We put- I will look into it. Means only we are not getting the border and this one. I will look into it. Let's copy and put this. And now we have the form. Suppose this name. So name I have entered Peter Smith. And then we have something called Peter dot Smith at the rate gmail.com. And then we have only I like to have demo of your project. And once the user will go and click on this button, so it should go and it should save in our database and this page should get refreshed. So if you see on the button, we have the so we have the form group over here. So either you can go and you can follow the any of the approaches. The template driven approach you can go and you can follow, or you can follow the our reactive. So we'll go and we'll work on the reactive only because the template driven is to work on the HTML, and in the reactive forms we have the more control on the forms us. So to work with the reactive already, let me go and check. So we have the type submit and the send, and on the top on the form group we require to write the form group, and then we require to give the name over here. So suppose over here I have given contact form. The form which is related to, you can go and you can give the name. And now if I have to go and use over here. So as you know, we can go and you can use ng submit, and you can go and give the method name. So I have written get contact details, the method name. And I will go and I will define this on the TS file because the method name which you have created on the .html, if you don't define on the TS file, and once you'll save, you will get the error. So let time being, I will just go and create over here. So I have created. Now I will go and save both the files. Let me see. So we are getting. So we need to define this on our .ts file. We need to import from the forum, and the type will for this will be the form group. So before going to declare this, as we know to work with the template driven forms, we need to go and import the reactive forms modules from the Angular. So I will go to the our app.module.ts, and in this I need to import the reactive forms module. So import and opening and closing and from @Angular / forms. And from this I will go and I will take the reactive forms module. And once you have taken this module, now you need to go and register this as well. So to register this, we have to go and we have to put this into the our import tag. So I will go over here and I will put inside this our this tag. So just save. And now I will go to our .contact.ts page, and we have defined. So we can go and we can implement our ng on any life cycle hook of the component. So implement on init, and this going to have import. And now we have to go and you have to call this. And for quick fix, I will go and I will create the ng on init. So interface we have created. And the in TypeScript we can go and we can give the return type as a method as well. So time being I will not give any method. And as we know, the void will not going to return anything. So this we have done. Now let me go and create. So contact us form group, and this will going to inherit the our form group. And this also we need to import. So we can go and we can import this one at the rate. And now if you see in the new version of React, we cannot just go and declare the you cannot just go and declare this property. You need to go and assign some default value over here. If you go and do the mouse over, so you can see that property contact form is has no initialization and it's not differently assigned inside the constructor. So if you go and 6, we have the different. We can go and we can assign like this. We can make it undefined. This is one way. We can go and we can make it this as an undefined. Or you can go and you can make this as a, so this is not the best approach. We can go and you can make it optional over here. So I will go and use the exclamation. So if I use the exclamation, this is also one of the way you can go and you can declare the property. So you're not going to get the error. Now we have the different types. We have the form control. We have the form group. We have form group. We have form control, and we have form array. We have for the adding the validator in the reactive form, we use the validators, which we have seen while learning that, and all this coming from the library at the rate angular /forms. So let's first see with the form group, and there is a service which is known as the form builder. We'll see about the form builder as well, the alternative of the form group. We'll see how we can go and you can use the concept of form builders. So over here, I have declared this over here. Now, if I go and check this, the value, so I will go and I will get this as well. So if I have to go, so suppose let me go and create a constructor. So constructor. So in the life cycle hook of the component, first ng on change will come, call, then the constructor, and then the third page will be the ng on init. And you'll see we have the different life cycle we have. And all the value, as we know, we are going to have in this contact form. Now, if I have to go and if I have to change this one, so how I can go and I can check the value inside this form group. So suppose I will go and I will create a inside this method only the get contact I have clear, right? So in the starting I told whatever property we are going to define on the top, you can go and you can call with the help of this keyword. So this dot contact form, and then we'll go and we'll create the object of form group. So new form group, and then we have having this opening and closing. And inside this, you have to go and you have to define the name. So in this field, we have the name, and then we'll go and we'll use the control. So every text boxes will be treated as a one control. So new form control. So we need to import from the Angular. So the Angular form. So let me go and import form control. You can see, and this we need to go and call over here control. And over here we have the five overloaded. You can see over here. So first is like whatever, if you want to make it null or blank, if you don't want by default some value to be the text box, either you can go and you can give the blank, and in the second you can go and you can give the, if you want to give multiple validation, so you have to use the square, and inside this you can go and you can create the multiple validator. If you want to go and give only validator, so you have to go and import the validator from here only at the rate angular forward. So validator, and over here, if I will go and for the required only, like in the template event form, we use the uh, HTML5 validator. Over here, if I have to go and use the validator, so you can see validator dot required. So I have used only one. If I have to go and use multiple on this one, so I can go and I can use. So suppose over here, save. And now this, I need to go and I need to put this in our class. So I will go to the our control, and this is the input, right? We have the label and we have the input. So if I have to go and write over here, so I can write form control name, and the name which we have given in the our this group. So we have given name. So we'll go over here and we'll give over here the name, just save. And currently, if you can see, it is blank. So it will form group will not going to have any value. So let's go and check. So you can see it is blank. Now let's put some value. If you want to put some value, suppose Peter. And now if you go, so why this is not appearing? So we have this ng on submit. Let me check. This is saved. Okay. And okay. So this one we have not, this method is not getting called on call only. This will going to get called. So let me go and put something which will go and call in the our whenever the component will be get called. So I will go and put, because this method will be get called on the submit. When the user will go and click, at that time this will be get called. So let me go and put this in the our, or directly I can put on the ng on submit. Means ng on init, save, and now you can see we have the value. We are getting this UI issue. I will look into this. So you can see you are getting the by default value. So if you go and pass some value over here, so it will go and by default it will be there. So either you can pass the this first overloaded as a blank, or you can go and you can pass over here as a null. So if I will go and pass over here as a null also, so it will work. Now you can see we don't have any value to this. In the same way, you can go and you can create the value for our other fields. So just comma, and let me copy and paste this 3 times. So like, and this one I will use for email, and this one I will use for message. So we have used the 3 control over here. and now save. And now if I now I have to go and add this form control name for the second, for the email address, and this will be our email. And then the final we have will be the our text area, and this can be our message. Save. And now I want to, and let me check now. So now you can see it's compiled successfully. We are not getting any error. Now just let check whether we are getting the value or not. So I will go and put a console or on our submit method, whatever we have written. So I will go and put the console.log and this dot contact form and save. And now I will go to the UI, and for time being I will go and we don't work on see the UI. UI will later. So the Peter, and then we have this means, and we have some I like to have demo of your product. And let's go and have the inspect element. And let me put in the right hand side. And go to the console. And once I will go and click on this, so now you can see it has logged the form group. And in the form group, you can see we have the value Peter Smith, and then we have this Peter, and we have the message as well. So you can see all these three value we are getting. Now, before integrating the calling the services and using the HTTP client to integrate our API, we have to go and first create the our API, and then we'll create a service for this one. Or let me go and create the service, and that service we are going to call over here. So let me go and open a console over here, and in this CMD I will go and create a service. So ng gs, and I want to put inside the service folder. Like we have created the component over here, and everything we are passing in the this separate component. So in the same way, I will go and I will create the service. So let's go and have the service over here. So service, and then contact, and I want to skip the our text, skip text is equal to true. Or if you want to check what are the files it will going to create, so instead of writing this whole, you can write the hyphen hyphen dry hyphen. So it will not go and create any folder over here. It will show you what are the files it will go and it will create. So let's wait for a few seconds. I can see it will go and it will create the two files over here, and you can see the dry run option means no changes were made. Now let me go and use this skip hyphen text is equal to true. Oh, sorry. So it has created because we have written, I have written this one. So let me go and delete this because we don't require. So now we have created the service over here, and we'll see how we can go and we can inject that one inside our this service file, and how we can go and call this service file inside our .ts file, and how we can go and we can save all these file to our database. So this was from the UI part, and we are getting till the value over here. And let's build the backend, and then from the backend, just you have to go and implement the HTTP client, and that client we have to call over here, and from here we'll go and we'll pass this all the value from here. So to work with the backend, I am going to use Visual Studio 2022, and it will be the committee edition, so it is free. You can go and you can also use. And in this, I am going to use the .NET 6.0. And in this 6.0 till we have the version like before it was .NET 5.0 was there. So in this 5.0, if you see, we're going to have we are going to have the startup.cs file, and there will be going to have the program.cs file. So they have come up with a new concept, and it was used like I think in 3.0 and 3.1 they have used this concept. But now from the .NET 6.0, they have removed this startup.cs file, where we do all our configuration of surfaces, configuration, Swagger, everything we go and do in the startup.cs file. And only the program.cs file was used for the like a main method where it will go and the program execution will start. But in this, we have everything you will go and do in the program.cs file. Okay. So let's create the API and the language we are going to use. So you have to select the C#.NET. You'll get the option of VB.NET and other languages. So we will go and select this C#.NET. So let me go and create Visual Studio 2022. And in this, we have to go and we have to create the new project. And we have lots of like console, ASP.NET Web application. We have the ASP.NET Core Web API. So when you go and select the web application, you will get the by default controller models and the views. But when you go and select the web API, it will only going to have a folder with the controller, which is our controller folder. So select this, and it has the CSAR, and it is the RESTful. Click on next, and I will go and give the name of this one, Vmart dot API. Okay, click on next. And we have the other option over here. We have the HTTP Docker. We are not going to concentrate on this one. Just we'll see how we can go and we can integrate. So latest, if you can see, we have the .NET 7.0, but we are going to work on the .NET 6.0. Click on this, select, and then create. So you can see everything now they have kept in the our program.cs file over here. Now, if I'll go and run this, So you'll get all this data you're going to see in the JSON format, all this. So this will also rely to us, yes, no, and it will go and it will run on some port, which will be the, you can see it 7294, and it is returning the data over here we have. Now, if you want to go and implement the Swagger, instead of going for the Postman, because either you can, in Postman also you can go and you can use the web application, or you can go and you can install the Postman in your system. But we have the better option nowadays, Swagger UI has been used. So whatever the API you are creating, it will go and it will, when you go and run, so from the Swagger only you can go and you can test. So to go and work with that one, you have to go and you have to, first of all, you require to go and install all the dependencies. So currently in the, this is the scratch, you will see there will be no dependency over it in the Pro. We have only this two. Now you have to go and you have to install. So you have to do the right click and okay, it's running. So let me stop and go and do the right click and manage NuGet packages, like in the GS framework, we use the npm. In the same way over here, to install the others libraries, we use the this manage NuGet packages. Now over here, we have to go and add the Swagger. So let's see which we have to go and we have to select the two Swagger libraries we have to use. So let's go to the browser, and in the browser we have to go and we have to search for the two Swaggers UI. And for that, over here it's loading. So go for search about the Swagger. So inside this, you have to go and search about the Swagger. So let me go and search about the Swagger UI and Swagger. So Swagger. So see, we have this UI. So let's go and install this. And once the installation is completed, okay, and now you have to go and you have to use the other one, which is the our Swagger. And to make this work, we have to install this as well. And I need accept. And now if I have to go and check this one, so I need to go and refresh this page. So let me go and do over here. So just refresh this or refresh this project. So you can see we have these two we have added. So generally, if you want, you can go and you can add this as well for built-in. If you want, you can install this. But generally, this two is sufficient. If you want, you can go and you can use this Swagger Gen as well over here. So we have installed all these three libraries. Now, if you want to go and implement this one in our application. So you have to go and you have to add the add this now over here in our program.cs file. So in the program.cs file, if you see it, we have the we can go and you can base on our environment, like if it is a development environment. So you can go and you can use the development, or if it is the like other. So if I have to go and install this over here, so I can go and check if environment dot, or you can directly you can go and write like app dot use Swagger UI, or first let's use the Swagger and then Swagger UI. So app dot Swagger UI. And if you have to go and you have to specify, so you can specify the endpoint as well. So Swagger, and then over here you can go and you can specify c dot endpoint, and you can go and you can give the path. So suppose over here we will go and we will give the path like swagger v1 the version, and then you can go and you can give the swagger dot jsn, and in this now you can go and you can give the name. So we are creating the application name, which is our theme. Okay, and save. Now let's run and see whether we are able to see the Swagger UI or not. So we have the one controller is there, which is our this, which is our forecast is there over here. Now let's see, otherwise we'll go and create the controller and we require to add. And to work with the Swagger, we have to go and use the Swagger forward slash index dot html. So let me check and let me build the application. So we are trying to let me build the application. So this external self name, and then we require to okay. It is in debug mode. So let's remove from debug mode. Now let me go and clean, and then we require to go and build this. So we can go and we can build. So let me go and build this as well. So now we have built. Now let's see. So we are getting that the Swagger UI is So in the program.cs, we have used the Swagger and we have used, and over here we are calling the swagger.index.html. So, some code, and let me try swagger forward slash index.html. So we are getting the text. Let me check with the other application I have implemented. So Dmart, and in the program.cs, okay. So we have to include the service. One service is there. So only we are replace with the aspect. That's it. So over here, I will add build with the dot service dot add server. Save, and now we have to run. Now it should run successfully. Let me add this first. Add endpoint explorer. Build this. Maybe some build is will there. So now we are getting. And now if I go and use Swagger forward slash index.html. So now you can see we are getting the Swagger UI. So now it has been successfully configured. So see, we have forwarded the to add the services over here. So the other library which we have added is fine, but we have to add these two services, address Swagger generation and the endpoint API Explorer we have to add. And this was the fine, and we can go and we can use this inside the environment based on our environment. You can go and you can use this. We'll see later when you go and based on the environment, we'll see. So currently, if you can see, we don't have any folder over here. So you can go and you can create a folder. So go to add and it's running. You can go and so over here I will go and stop as well. Let's stop the application and add the controllers. And inside the controllers, I will go and add a control. And inside this, we have the class and that. So we have the contact form, right? So I will go and write this as a contact detail. Okay. I have given, okay, not this as a class, sorry. It will be a controller. So add any other controller. And we'll go and select the empty and add over here. And it will always postfix with the controller. So just only you have to go and check the name which is prefix. So contact details. For detail I
तो
have given
API कंट्रोलर या MVC कंट्रोलर?
API controller. So we have created over here and we have given the names, contact details, add. So it has added this controller over here. And now inside this you can go and you can write the all the your HTTP words, whatever you require. Like if you require get, post, or you can go and you can write over here. So suppose now you have to go and you have to create the model also because we are going to use the code first approach. So same way I will go and I will create the folder first, models, and inside the models. So now I will go and add the class. So add over here class and over here I will write. So suppose over here I have given the same name. This is our contact detail dot cs. Over here now you can go and you can specify the property which are going to use. So over here we are going to use the three property and the type. So over here I will go and use the string and we'll go and use name over here. And then we are going to define the real email and same we are going. So now you will see in Visual Studio 2022 we have the AI intelligence. You can see it is by automatically it is generating the code. So over here we'll go and use the instead of phone we'll go and use I'll go and I will give you the message. Okay, so I have created a four this all the three properties which are required over here. Now, if I have to go and use the code first approach, so for that, I have to go and create the migration for this table, and then I need to go and update this table over here. So in this table over here, now if you have to go and give the connection string, so you are going to give the connection string in the our app setting over here, and just you have to put the comma, and you can go and you can use the connection string. So suppose I have given my connection string name. So whatever the connection string, like suppose I have given vmart. Vmart connection string. Okay. And then you have to go and you have to specify all your server name. Then you have to go and you have to specify the database, which database, and then you have to go and you have to specify the trusted connection, or you can go with the user ID and password. So trusted connection over here, and which will be the true. Okay. And then you're going to get the SSL, that certificate issue. If you go and connect with the database, so you are going to get, so for that you have to go and use this two attribute. So which I have used, go to the connection stream. Okay, we have to use the equal to. Okay. So you have to use this one, these two, encrypted false and trusted server certificate is equal to true. If before, don't use this and try to get, so you'll get the that SSL issue will be there. So just you have to go and you have to use. So separated with the comma. And once you'll use this issue, so that issue will not going to get. So over here you have to go and use the whatever the YY, whatever the your database name you want to give, you can go and you can give over here. And same over here, the server name. You can go and you can give. And once you'll go and use this connections, so on the basis of that, we'll go and we'll add the connection string in our services over here. On the top, once the build is getting, so on the top, we'll go and we'll use the services. We'll go and we'll use the DB context and we'll go and give the connection string over here. And after that, we'll go and we'll create the contact constant. And in that, we'll go and use the data set. And with the help of add migration, we'll go and we'll, so for that we require to install the entity framework code. So we'll go and we'll see all that, how we can go and we can do the migration setup. So in the tomorrow class, we'll go and we'll complete this, all the from front end to the back end, how we can go and pass the value. And we're going to use the HTTP post. And with the help of the HTTP post, how we can go and we can save all that three records into our database using the code first approach. Okay. So in this, if you can see in the dependency, just we have used the Swagger packages to work with the Swagger. Now we have to use the entity framework core also. We'll use that one. In the same way, just you have to go to the dependency and you have to go to the new packages and you have to install the entity framework as well. So that will go and that will communicate between as a mediator between your this .NET Core Web API and in our database, which is our SQL server. Okay. So we'll see all that in our tomorrow class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we'll connect tomorrow same time.